Grinding for gear in Final Fantasy Tactics can be a real pain considering how much of it relies on RNG. Stealing, poaching, treasure hunting, monster breeding, all of these things require some element of luck to get the pieces you need to make the strongest team you can. Well, what if I told you you could eliminate all of that RNG grind without even breaking a sweat? After having finished the Platinum Trophy and using this trick in Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, to obtain the best gear in the game, I wanted to share how I did it with you guys, because it's done in a way that could only be done in this version of the game specifically. So if you want to find out more on how to grind the grind into dust, then keep on watching. Let me put this in the simplest terms I can before we dive on in. Autosave in this game is absolutely broken. So in order for me to explain this properly, I need to explain how autosave works in this game. During battle, or anywhere in fact, the last few moves are autosaved, but if you preload one of the autosaves, it counts towards one of those few. So if the turn ends or you take another action, it's difficult to make it so you can reload a save at the end of a turn and abuse the system. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. Essentially, you only actually lose one of your autosave slots if the turn actually ends. So if you're in a position to reload your save after you've taken an action but not moved yet, or vice versa, you're able to reload the first slot in your autosave repeatedly. So for example, if I attack my own party member here with Orlando, and then the option is there given for me to move, but I don't do that, instead I load the save and just go straight into it, the first save slot, then what will happen is it'll put me back at the start of the turn that Orlando had, and the timeline won't have moved forward at all. So why is this useful? Well, there's another key factor that makes this broken. The percentage rates of hit accuracy, stealing, poaching, the items you get when you stand on a hidden tile, etc, those aren't dictated until the exact moment they're needed, meaning they aren't fixed and that the result can change on successive attempts. Can you see what I'm getting at here yet? Take the fight in Castle Limberry as an example. Marquis Elmdor carries Genji gear, the only set in the entire game, and it's notoriously difficult to snatch off of him with a thief. And he can't be recruited by an orator, so you can pinch all his gear off him in your party either. But if you position your thief so that they start their turn right next to Elmdor, or any other target you want to steal from, you can make an attempt at stealing one of his items, then if it fails, you simply don't finish the turn with your thief when prompted to move. Instead, you simply reload your autosave in the first slot, and you'll be right back at the start of the turn, ready to attempt to steal the same item again. And again, and again, until you get the item successfully. And because of the fact that this turn ending is auto-saved, if something goes wrong between this turn and the next chance you get to steal one of the enemy's other items, you can simply reload a couple of turns back, until you're back in the position to be able to do it all over again. Stealing isn't the only situation where this is useful either. Poaching is a rarely talked about mechanic in Final Fantasy Tactics that actually yields some extraordinary gear if you know what you're looking for. The issue is that some of the best items are locked behind rare drops from their respective poached monsters. When a character kills a monster while equipped with the poach ability, they drop a carcass, and there is roughly 1 in 8 chance that the carcass dropped will have a star next to it to signify that it's a rare carcass. Taking these to a poacher's den gives different, usually better items than a normal one does. And if you're looking to get the Platinum Trophy for Tactics, then you'll need at least 10 of these that can't be bought in shops, most of which come from these star or rare drops. When you find the monster you want the rare carcass from, you can do the same trick as the stealing. Just simply make sure you're within range to KO the monster in question at the start of the character's turn without moving, then check to see if the poached carcass is a rare one or not, then if it's not, simply reload the first slot in your autosaves before you move, so you can start the turn again and then try again and again and again until you get the item you actually want. You can actually make this even more busted through monster breeding. If you capture an enemy and bring it to your party through the Orator's Entice ability, monsters can breed while in your party and produce different variants of monsters within the same family. So for example, a Tiamat monster comes from the Hydra family, but it's a lot easier to find and capture a Hydra than a Tiamat, which itself can be abused with autosaves, just keep attempting the Entice until it works. Once you've got one, just run around the map aimlessly until you get the monster pop up in your party that you actually want. And then, get this, you can actually poach your own party members. So once you've got one, take it to Mandalia Plain because it's the easiest map in the game, take the poacher along with it, and then, well, give it the old yellow treatment, I guess, and then just keep doing that until you get the rare carcass from it. It's heartless as hell, but it does work. The last place where autosave scumming is extremely useful is when locating rare items through the Treasure Hunter ability. I actually figured this whole thing out whilst hunting for the Dragoon's ultimate weapon, Javelin 2, as it's completely missable. When treasure hunting, once you know the spot where a rare item will appear, standing on it isn't quite enough on its own. There's usually two different items that can appear on that spot, a common one and a rare one, and once you've picked it up, the other one is lost forever, which is really bad in Midlight's Deep, where the strongest weapons in the game are, so you don't want to miss them and have to reload the entire battle until you get them, right? Now, you can make this easier for yourself by lowering the bravery of the character equipped with the treasure hunter skill, as the calculation of the chance to get the rare item is 100 minus the character's bravery, so the lower the better. And you can use the orator's skill Intimidate to reduce the bravery of the unit. I actually have a treasure hunter dedicated unit, as well as being an orator to entice monsters for the purposes of then poaching them, which is my ninja here tool. And I use Intimidate on herself to get her bravery low, but thanks to the autosave scumming, you don't actually have to worry about this nearly as much. This is because autosave scumming works the other way around just as much as it does as if you were attacking without moving. You can move and not take an action. So in the case of Javelin 2 and Escutcheon 2 in Nelveska Temple, simply move on to the spot where they would appear, check to see if you got the right item, then if you didn't, don't end the turn or take an action, just reload the first autosave slot and try again. With those two items in particular, Javelin and Escutcheon, they are actually just named Javelin and Escutcheon as opposed to Javelin 2, etc. So you'll need to actually look if they're the right one. Javelin 2, as you can see here, is slightly gold and beefier than the regular Javelin that you can see here. And the Escutcheon 2 has a T-looking shape going through it, as opposed to the regular one, which is much smaller and just has a line going through it. So just make sure you keep an eye on that if you're going for those particular items. This will make finding all of the ultimate weapons and armor in Midlight's Deep significantly easier, as you can do all of the same tricks there too. And if there's particularly rare monsters in there, or enemies with solid items, why not double dip and go for those at the same time? Realistically, there's actually tons of applications for this for people who want to use it, like making sure every attack you make hits, but I chose not to do that and just focused on the RNG grinding itself because I don't want to just ruin the game for myself entirely, which is what doing all of that would result in. But if there is a way to cut down on the RNG grind for the sake of getting to the meat of the game and its hardest battles like Midlight's Deep, then hopefully that's useful to people. So yeah, that's just a find that I've had in Final Fantasy Tactics, specifically the Ivalice Chronicles, as the War of the Lions version and the original version didn't have autosave like this one does. So let me know if this has been useful to you, and now that I have the Platinum Trophy for this game, please do feel to ask me any questions you like about it. It's one of my favourite games of all time, so please do give me more excuses to make more videos on it. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more as well. I make community-focused tier lists, I do a lot with Final Fantasy and all sorts of other JRPGs, and also little guide videos on games just like this one to help the community out who wants it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.